Welcome to my views and news. Three news stories. First one is from Tigray viewers. Getachew Reda, Tigray presidential spokesperson, last night tweeted after silence of a few days, and he spoke about the ongoing efforts in Tigray for the establishment of interim regional administration. What Getachew said seems to be opposite to what a Tigray general said a few days ago in Mekelle when he was attending a two-day-long conference held in Mekelle. What did Getachew say about process of formation of interim government? And secondly, viewers, I have received a piece of information from Haramaya University in Dirideva, where teachers, university staff are under pressure. What happened there? Are the concerns of teachers genuine? Because we know that in Dirideva there is Oromo Somali tension too. Not tension, but both groups live there. And a few weeks ago, there were reports that a referendum could be held there to make Dirideva part of Oromia, Somali region, or an independent regional state. Why are the teachers worried at Haramaya University? And thirdly was Las Anod, where resumption of fighting is being reported since this morning. After a calm of a few days, fighting resumed reportedly. And we know that around 48 hours ago, top Ethiopian delegation visited Somaliland to strengthen informal ceasefire, which was in place for the last 3 to 4 days. We have details for what happened in the last 3 to 4 days in this conflict. Firstly, viewers, Nikolai Asheber is an Ethiopian military commander, top PDF military commander. And last week, when in Mekelle, a conference was held for the establishment of interim government, for creating consensus within Tigray, for the formation of interim government, he spoke at the conference. And he had said that Addis Ababa, federal government had given the go-ahead to Tigray to form interim government, and that federal government would not intervene in this process of formation of interim government. Though when it has been finalized by Tigray authorities, the names would be sent to federal government. And then we saw that two-day-long conference was held, and a document was shared showing broader principles on which the participants agreed. Opposition parties boycotted the conference. TPLF was there, TDF was there too, and Tigray civil society. But Salseboyene, Baton, and Tigray Independence Party, they boycotted. A Simba party was there, I think, attending, an opposition party, attending the conference. And then a news source which is backed, which has sources in Tigray government, claimed that a formula had been agreed at Mekelle conference for the establishment of interim government. That Debretsion would retain his position as regional president. There would be two deputy presidents, one from TDF, another one from civil society. 50% share would be allocated to TPLF, 21% to opposition parties, 29% to military and civil society. Getachew Reda has remained largely silent recently. And last night he tweeted. He said Tigray is only doing its part. Interim government will only be established in Tigray after consultation with parties to Pretoria Agreement. And all reports that interim government has been formed in Tigray fly in the face of reality. Now, you see that Tekalai Ashebar says that Addis Ababa has given the go-ahead to Tigray authorities to create consensus to form the government. Getachew says parties to Pretoria deal will finalize the formation of interim government. Opposition is not party to Pretoria Agreement. Pretoria Agreement was between TPLF and Ethiopian federal government. It means that opposition is not a legal stakeholder. Is that what Getachew is saying? Or is he taking a different position? What I have understood is that federal government's role cannot be federal government cannot be sidelined in this process. Federal government has given the go-ahead to Tigray authorities, and reportedly federal government has shared some names with Tigray authorities that these individuals must not be part of interim setup. Reportedly, I have some names I am not sharing with you. It would be inappropriate at this point of time. Federal government wants exclusion of some individuals from TPLF and from TDF, mostly TDF, from interim setup. Otherwise, federal government has given the green light. But final decision will be made by the federal government, because the names, the formula decided at Mekelle conference will be sent to Addis Ababa. Reportedly, a top TPLF delegation and military commanders would be there too, is expected to visit Addis Ababa in coming days. Consultation will be held with the PM, and then final decision will be made. Question is, where are those parties which are not based in Tigray? Yes, some might not be in a position to prove that they have their standing in Tigray, but they want to be part of interim setup. Eregawi Birhe's party, some other parties, a newly formed party. Will they be given any share? That remains to be seen. Getachew is trying to reject the rumors that Tigray is taking unilateral measures without consultation from Addis Ababa. And under Getachew's tweet, UMD media wrote a remark saying that it was trying to get explanation about the formation of interim government, but its queries were not being answered. And UMD media has shared a list of it has shared details of the formula regarding share of TPLF, opposition parties, TDF. And Getachew is denying this formula, but UMD is adamant that it stands by its report, but its queries are not being answered. We are seeing splits in Tigray, no doubt about that. How deep are the splits? Can TPLF manage to bridge them? What is PP's role? That will become clear in coming days. I think split suits the federal government. If Tigray is fully united, once again, united front could be challenging for federal government. Secondly, viewers, Haramaya University is in Dirideva, and university administration last week held a meeting. Meeting was held to get the opinion of teachers of the university for donation of 1 month of their salaries 1 month salary to drought hit areas of Borana. The proposal was opposed by teachers. Why? Because keeping in view rising inflation in Ethiopia, obviously it's difficult for teachers to make both ends meet without 1 month salary. So now when teachers are opposing donation of 1 month salary for Borana, reportedly University administration has made up its mind to donate 1 month salary of teachers for Borana's drought hit areas. I contacted a few people at the university. They said that in the past their 1 month salary was donated for military campaign against Tigray, for Ethiopian National Defense Force, for regional forces. This 1 month salary was donated. Again, they were not in a position to oppose. Had they opposed, they would have been labeled anti-Ethiopia, pro-TPLF. And they say if now they start protesting against donation of 1 month salary, they'll be portrayed as anti-Oromo. So they're in a difficult position. And I then got some reports about what is the price of daily use items. Generally, a teacher is being paid at Haramaya University around 10,000 Ethiopian birrs. It is difficult for a family to live for a month on 10,000 Ethiopian birrs. Minimum house rent is around 3,000 Ethiopian birrs. Cooking oil around 1,000 Ethiopian birrs for a 5-liter packet. Rice, 25 kilogram bag of rice is being sold at 1,500 Ethiopian birrs. Teff, 20 kilogram bag being sold at 1,700 Ethiopian birrs. So it is already very difficult for a teacher to make both ends meet in 10,000 Ethiopian birrs. If his or her 1 month salary is cut, imagine how he and his family would survive. So that is why the university should review its decision. Yes, people of Borana should be helped, but those who are minting money, businessmen, industrialists, aid organizations, government, they should donate. Not these poor teachers who are already finding it hard to meet their needs, daily needs. Thirdly, viewers, Las Anod Somaliland, where after a 3 to 4 day long relative calm, fighting resumed this morning in the north of Las Anod city. So informal ceasefire has been broken. Let's see how intense this fighting becomes, and let's hope that fighting stops. 2 days ago, a top Ethiopian delegation visited Hargeisa, Somaliland. By the way, so far Ethiopia has received more than 100,000 IDPs, refugees from Somaliland after the start of Las Anod conflict. 100,000 refugees. And when Tigray conflict started in November 2020, during Tigray conflict, around 70,000 people fled. They had to leave Tigray and they entered Sudan. But you see, in just a month-long conflict, 3-week-long conflict, around 100,000 have fled Sul region and entered Ethiopia. So Ethiopia is a stakeholder in this conflict, fighting ongoing in Ethiopian neighborhood. That is why a top Ethiopian delegation was in Hargeisa. Talks were held between Ethiopian delegation and Somaliland's government, Ethiopian delegation and SSC. Hargeisa agreed to withdraw its military 30 kilometers away from Las Anod to a place called Samarkand. But SSC is demanding that all Somaliland forces must withdraw to Oog. Oog is the place where there is a sort of border. This is border area because Dulbahante tribe mainly has its influence till Oog. It means no agreement has been reached. That is why perhaps this morning fighting resumed. Meanwhile, some top meetings have been held between Somaliland's government, Western officials, SSC and Western officials. US held some meetings with SSC officials reportedly. And UK has suspended Somaliland security program. UK was giving logistical and military support to Somaliland's forces. The program has been suspended or it has not been renewed. Statement issued by UK office in Hargeisa states the reasons. One of the reason is crackdown on protests which happened last year. Another reason is ongoing use of force by Somaliland's security forces in Sul region, Las Anod. US is building pressure as well. Musawi Abdi government is in a difficult position. SSC fighters, their elders met last week and they're not speaking about secession, though there were some elements who were supportive of a separate Sul Sanag country. But if they start making such public demands, obviously they lose support of international community. So publicly, they're not talking, they're not calling for secession. They want to be part of Somalia, it seems. But things are changing very rapidly. No one can say what's going to happen. Somaliland's government is losing control in Las Anod, in neighboring areas in Sul. And now police force has been formed by SSC fighters in Las Anod. This police has taken over the security matters of Las Anod.